Welcome to another episode on the Law Rapport. This is episode 71. Today is going to be a very short episode. I'm going to deal with the amendment to the Offences Against the Person Ordinance 2022. I'll be back shortly to deal with this issue. But before I do, my usual disclaimer: this is not legal advice, should not be taken as legal advice. For legal advice, please contact a competent attorney of your choice. Welcome back. The Offences Against the Person Amendment Ordinance 2022 came into effect on the 7th of November 2022. This was among some of the amendments passed to legislation in the Turks and Caicos Islands in wake of the increase in violent crimes in the Turks and Caicos Islands, especially gun-related crimes. This amendment substituted or replaced Section 25 of the principal ordinance by repealing that section altogether and inserting a new Section 25 dealing with assault on police officers, etc. So the new Section 25 of the Offences Against the Person Ordinance is as follows. Section 25(1) states that a person who shall assault, resist, threaten, or willfully obstruct by act or threat any officer of the court in the due execution of his duty, and when the law says his, it is also a reference to her. B, any police officer in the due execution of his duty, or any person acting in aid of such officer, or shall assault any person with intent to resist or prevent the lawful apprehension or detainer of himself or of any other person for any offense, commits an offense, and on conviction is liable to a fine of $20,000 or to imprisonment for a term of 7 years, or both. And subsection 2 of Section 25 states that in this section, officer of the court means a person who has an obligation to promote justice and uphold the law, including a judge, magistrate, clerk, bailiff, and attorney at law. So let us look at what the replaced or the previous Section 25 entailed. So before the law was repealed, Section 25 of the ordinance, the sentence for a person who contravene this section upon conviction would have been 2 years imprisonment. Now it is increased to 7 years. Also, The previous section did not include magistrates, court officers, attorneys, etc., or any person with an obligation to promote justice and to uphold the law. It is my view that in due course, this is an area that will be adjudicated by the court to determine who is such a person with an obligation to promote justice and uphold the law. Secondly, there may be some litigation or some legal arguments on what actually constitute an act that would fall within the four corners of this legislation. Now, anyone who has followed this channel would know that I have railed repeatedly against the passing or the amendments to these legislation across the board without proper public consultation and debate. And persons have expressed alarm of the sentence of 7 years and the fine of $20,000. Let me say, without fear of contradiction, it is highly unlikely that a person, especially a person committing an offense of assault on a police officer or being convicted of assaulting a police officer on the fourth occasion will be sentenced to a maximum of 7 years. The 7 years is not a minimum mandatory sentence. It is only the maximum range of sentence a person could be sentenced to if convicted of such an offense. Of course, the sentencing magistrate or judge will have to apply the principles of sentencing, will have to look at the individual, the person who stood to be sentenced, will have to look at the circumstances of the offense, aggravating and mitigating factors, etc., before they arrive at any sentence. And the sentence has to be proportionate in law. In a subsequent episode, I will be doing some commentary on all these legislations that were amended, and I will argue that some of the amendments were necessary, were knee-jerk reaction to the crime situation in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and will do little or nothing to deter would-be criminals or to reduce crime and violence, but that is for another argument. For this episode, it is just for a matter of public information to bring to the public where the law currently stands in relation to offenses of assault on police officers, court officers, or any person with an obligation to promote justice and uphold the law in the Turks and Caicos Islands. This has been a very short episode. If you learn anything from this episode, please like, comment, and if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer promptly. I thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in another episode. Cheers.
Thank you for watching another video on the law report. Please like, share, comment, and most of all, thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. See you in another episode.